Hey there, boys and girls, ladies and gents, theys and theirs. This is Tara Shapansky from the Polish-American Brotherhood and Adam Francisco from Be Free My Sheeple. And you're listening to the T&A Show, the Tara and Adam Show. Well, hey there, boys and girls, ladies and gents, theys and theirs. This is Tara Shapansky from the Polish-American Brotherhood and Adam Francisco from Be Free My Sheeple. And you're listening to the T&A Show, the Tara and Adam Show. Well, hey there, boys and girls, ladies and gents, theys and theirs. This is Tara Shapansky from the Polish-American Brotherhood and Adam Francisco from Be Free My Sheeple. And you're listening to the T&A Show, the Tara and Adam Show. Well, hey there, boys and girls, ladies and gents, theys and theirs. This is Tara Shapansky from the Polish-American Brotherhood and Adam Francisco from Be Free My Sheeple. And you're listening to the T&A Show, the Tara and Adam Show.
Hey there. Well, it truly is a late night edition of the T&A Show. So Adam actually just crashed out. That's why I set the stream for 12:15. Gave him an extra 15 minutes, and that way we can make it extra late for you guys. But we actually wanted to be among the first to wish you Happy Easter, because now it's officially Easter since it's past midnight, and today was like quite an exciting day. And hello, guys and gals, theys and theirs, and whoever you care to identify yourself as. If you're tuning in, we appreciate you. So first, before we get into anything, smash that like button, share this video, and subscribe. I'm Tara Shapansky, the Polish-American Brotherhood, your co-host, along with Adam Francisco for the T&A Show. And that stands for exactly what you guys think T&A stands for, tits and ass. Just kidding, but not. Like, yeah, not kidding, totally. It's the Tara and Adam Show.
Wow, I just woke up, guys. I passed the hell out, and listening to Tara's like having a cup of coffee. I feel awake now.
Oh, no. I got a glass of vino right here. So, you know,
if I drink, oh my God, I'm going to pass out. No, I can't do that. Holy crap. Well, guys, welcome to the T&A Show. We had quite the eventful day today at the Disney protest here in Orlando, Florida. And we're going to play some exclusive footage for you in a moment. And then we went out and we filmed a video today where we gave money to people paying for gas at the pump today to help push back against these Joe Biden gas prices, this Biden inflation, because, as I like to say, Joe Biden is killing us at the pump. Absolutely killing us. You know, Tara, it's a good thing that you don't drive that often.
Yeah. Because, no, I prefer to be driven. So
yes, in your chariot.
My little Toyota Prius.
Yeah, because these Joe Biden gas prices, they add up. It is out of control, guys. So we feel your pain. Relief is coming. Don't worry. 2024 is on its way. Just 2.5 more years, guys.
Hey, we're almost at the halftime mark. So, you know, if you survive, congratulations. We're all in this together. So
that's right.
But yeah, Adam was at the gas pumps today, like helping to ease the pain from what you were calling it, the Biden burden.
the Biden burden. I made that up on the spot, and I freaking love it.
It's fitting.
It's appropriate. It's
very appropriate. So the Biden burden.
So let's start calling it that, guys. Let's make that a thing. The Biden burden, because it just sounds so lovely, even though it's horrible and it's hurting all of us every day. Thanks, Joe Biden. And most importantly, thank you, Joe Biden voters. We love you so much here at the T&A Show.
I think before we start, let's end with the Disney footage, because I thought actually today's shoot at the gas pumps was totally lovely and a fantastic idea and a great way of giving back, because you came onto some really good fortune. So you're putting that energy out there. It's coming back, like, I want to say trifold, but it's coming back 30 times thousand trifold. So, you're giving back. So it shows appreciation and thanks and sends that back out there. So I think we should lead with that. Do you have the video on your laptop? You're no. You gotta find it. You gotta find it.
Hold on. I got it on the iPod. We'll just pull it from my YouTube channel.
Yeah, just go to YouTube. So this video Adam had premiered earlier this evening, so please also check it out directly on his channel so you can get the view. But we are also going to showcase it and feature it right here in the T&A Show.
And shout out to Tara for the shady camera work. She was sitting in... Ooh, we got an ad. That's like a penny. She was sitting in the vehicle filming in a, what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for?
Incognito,
sneaky style.
Sneaky, like undercover.
Yeah, well
Me
done.
and the puppy dogs, we were like stalkers in the vehicle. Like,
well
I felt like I was super obvious because I feel obvious, but how did you feel? Like, were people looking for cameras? What was people's reaction to approach them?
Some people were looking around thinking that this is some kind of thing for YouTube, and if they thought that, they would have been correct. So congratulations to those people who kind of figured out what we were doing. But I don't think most people actually looked around for a camera. I think the first girl did, and then the Navy veteran did. I think that was it, though. I think everyone else was kind of like kind of surprised that I was handing them, cash. Cold hard cash.
Did you feel like, you approached them with your MAGA hat turned backwards. Did you feel like anybody was like, oh, red hat? Like, what was the kind of sentiment when people are approaching you? When you were approaching people?
Let's rewind 2 years ago when you made me put on a MAGA hat for the first time.
Oh, I forced him.
I was so scared. It wasn't even a MAGA hat. It was just a Trump hat. I was terrified. Because I thought, wow, if I go out in public with a Trump hat, I'm going to get my ass kicked.
I'm like, which of these hats is most triggering? That's the one we should wear.
And you had the pink one on, which is pretty triggering.
Yeah. It was my first Trump hat. And I wore it out to Publix, and I was terrified because just like the vitriol that you get online, I'm like, wow, people are really going to beat me up over showcasing my views.
You did actually get beat up multiple times by Antifa. Like, you literally, in the most literal definition of the word. But like after the first time,
but I didn't die, so I'm here.
That's right. But after the first time I did it, and I realized I wasn't getting my ass kicked, I was like, you know what, this isn't so bad. But I will say this: after what's been happening in this country, after the position that we're currently in right now, all of a sudden, Trump supporters don't seem as crazy anymore.
No.
Have you noticed that?
No.
Even, you look at videos by like Savannah Hernandez. You look at videos by Primetime Stein, Alex Stein. I don't know why I said it like that. But
everything that was dubbed conspiracy theory is, guess what? True.
It's all coming true. And so you have all these people on the street. And I also want to give a shout out now to this new podcast that I just saw on my newsfeed pop up. If you guys haven't followed them yet, it's called Mostly Peaceful Latinas.
That's funny.
It's hosted by Red Pill Babe and Wake Up with Linda. So these two Latinas for Trump have combined forces to create their own podcast. But the point of this is they're going out on the street, much like I do, much like Tara helps me out when we go out. And they're talking to everyday Americans, and the tone on Trump is changing. And this is exactly what I knew was going to happen. Trump is on the hero's journey. Down and out, all odds against him, looks like a loser. He's going to come back, fix this country, and I can't guarantee anything at this point, but I think he's going to ride off into the sunset as the hero.
It's kind of like, you got to experience both good and bad relationships so that way you can appreciate the good one. Yep. It's like people didn't realize how good they had it until they ended up with this abusive relationship with Biden.
This is an assault on us, and it's all strategic. It's all done on purpose. I'm convinced at this point, to bankrupt the middle class, to bankrupt the Americans. The only people that are really surviving now are the people that are the elites, and the people that have enough money to invest in things and diversify.
That's so true because basically, if you got wealth, money makes money. And if you're smart, you'll make your money work for you as opposed to working hard yourself.
Correct.
My dad always says work smarter, not harder. But the thing is, like, it's cyclical, like how wealth will cycle up and then poverty and debt will cycle down. Like even when you think about it, when it comes to banking, for instance, like banks will charge regular people fees like for every like transaction, this and that. But if you're rich, they want you to be with their bank, so they'll give you all the incentives to bank with them if you're rich, versus like if you're poor, they'll like add on, not poor, but maybe poor, but they'll add on all those. I mean, if you're having constant like overdraft fees, like you know, you're going below zero balance, that might be I would call that poor.
Yeah, and they're the people that are getting hurt the most. The rich people are the ones that are able to avoid the most taxes. You know, for example, people that live in Puerto Rico and have a lot of crypto, there's ways for them to completely avoid any crypto tax. They go to Puerto Rico because it's a safe haven. That's something that the wealthy and the rich can do. The guy that makes $15 an hour probably doesn't have much crypto, first of all, because it's all going towards his rent and food. Second of all, he doesn't have the funds to scrap together to save up for a plane ticket and move down to Puerto Rico where he can protect his money from governments. He can't do that.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, like, the tax cuts that are available to the rich, guess what? They're also available to the poor. So, like, if you,
True.
like, I don't mean to sound like demeaning or anything if I am coming across that way when I say the poor, but if you're not rich, then I would say you're poor. So, but those tax credits are or loopholes, whatever you want to call them, are still available to everybody. It's up to the person to hire a knowledgeable accountant who can do it for you, or, you know, make yourself knowledgeable yourself in order to utilize those same tax codes.
And I will say, I think America, we do have issues of classism and class. I don't think we have issues of racism like the media wants you to believe. And I think that that's where they kind of conflate the two. So I'm proud of you that you said that it does come down to whether or not you're poor or rich. But the Democrats position it as, it depends if you're a person of color or if you're not, which implies that all POCs are poor or broke. And that's not true at all.
Yeah.
Some of the richest Americans
it's insulting. I'm like, I have privilege just because I'm brown. Exactly. Doesn't mean I don't have privilege in my life. That's insulting to me to if you're undermining me and undercutting me by the color of my skin. Like, I don't want any special treatment.
That's right. And since you have that shirt on, I don't think our guests could actually see it. You want to just give a quick little show for what that shirt says?
Ironically, to what we're now discussing. Let me move in this direction. There you go.
It's okay to be white peoples out there. And Tara's only half white, and I'm 0% white. So we're letting you as a reminder out there to all of our white patriots. It is okay to be white American. It's okay to be Latino, Black, Asian, Chinese, whatever you are. It's okay. It's American first. We're all in this together. And that's the difference between us and the Democrats. You know, we look at all of us as Americans. You respect the Constitution. You pay your
America first.
Pay your bills. America first. You're a law-abiding citizen. You're just as American as anyone else is. And I know a lot of foreigners. We met a Cuban woman today, actually, at the protest, she just loves this country, and she's raising her kids to love this country. And that's more than I can say for most Democrat voters.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you guys can check out the stream from earlier. I think it was fantastic. We talked to some really great people, and it was hot because this is Florida. But I think it was a great event. Jeff from Paint the Trump, he said that he was going to be probably organizing another one. And yeah, like, I had a good time. I'm really glad I got out of the house and went and then shot the video. So it was a very productive day, and now I'm forcing you to do a podcast. You know,
it was actually my idea to go on a podcast because we turned on the TV. As behind me, there's a beautiful, large flat screen TV, and Tara put on Elijah Schaefer, Slightly Offensive, and I just felt inspired like an hour and a half ago. I was like, you know what, we should go live too for Easter, for Passover, share some exclusive protest coverage with you guys. And so here we are. I ended up passing out on the couch. Whoopsies. Which, if I seem down right now, it's because I didn't wake up and get coffee to the face. That's usually what I need in order to be functional. But we're here, guys. We're making it for you guys.
I think it's the third dog that's like wearing you out. Little Winston. He's a handful.
He is a handful.
He's quite a handful. He's an adorable handful, and he gets by on his looks. He's lucky. He's lucky. He is so cute because I can't get him out of my ears.
That's right. And I want to say the one thing, guys. You know, we did an unboxing yesterday was it yesterday? My Pillow.
Yeah, it was.
Seems so long ago already. We did a My Pillow unboxing yesterday, and the dogs, they're obsessed with the dog beds. Like, they're all laying on the dog beds all day long. They seem to really love it. So. Now that we've had these beds for over a day, it seems to be like a great purchase. The dogs love the dog beds. So if you have a dog,
it's fantastic. Like, I like that we have, because I was just expressing to Adam, like, I hadn't expressed it earlier, but I actually don't like the as cute as they are, I don't like them on my pillows. So that's why I got like a little dog bed also to put them on. So now every dog has its own, because we got 3 dog beds here in the studio. So each of them can have their own space. And quickly to answer your question, Devon, thanks for joining us. You're always loyal and always there for every stream that we do. Yes, we did stay hydrated. We went and got cold drinks like immediately afterwards. However, like, you know, if you don't take care of yourself and stay hydrated, you'll have incidents like Adam experienced earlier, and cramp up.
That's right. We have I've been cramping up all freaking day because standing in that damn sun, guys. And, you know, I've been just chugging water to avoid the cramps coming into my legs and hands. Quick shout out to Ray Studios for the super chat. He says, if any of you have a son, name the boy Donald.
Donnie. Little
That's
Donnie.
pretty funny. And I just got I've never seen this before, in a green super chat box from Ken Johnson. He's been a member of my channel for 4 months. He actually is the premium member. He does the $25 a month membership.
Oh, that's
Ken
super
Johnson.
kind. I'm looking at it right now. Like, yeah, I haven't seen that. So that's when a person who's a member of your channel then comments. It gives a highlighted, so it catches your attention. So if you want to catch our attention, that's how it'll work. Please join.
And he's got the yellow badge. I believe that badge next to his name changes colors based on the length that you stay. So when you get 6 months, that's going to change, and then a year, it's going to be like some kind of platinum badge or something. But Ken Johnson, you know, obviously we appreciate all the support you've been to our channel. You're one of the most loyal viewers, and it definitely all adds up. So if you guys consider joining, I have the lowest membership set, I think, for $2.99 a month. And I priced it that way because, it used to be a gallon of gas. Now it's not really, you know, much, but still it adds up. So
yeah, that will get you. Well, 3/4, because now it's like $4 for it. So
it'll get me to the gas station. It'll get me to the gas station.
It'll get you to the gas station. That's true. And so now speaking back, we went on a very nice tangent. Gas prices these days, and Adam giving back to the community. You got that video queued?
Yeah. Here we
All
go.
right, let me pull that right up.
And what I'm trying to do, guys, is now that midterm season is upon us, I'm just going to play it. We'll have it in the background. Damn, Ken Johnson. He just came through with a $50 super chat.
Aw.
Absolutely amazing stuff, Ken.
Definitely appreciate that.
We appreciate it. And again, the offer stands. If you can get into my DMs on Instagram, I'm telling the dude to get in my DMs, but this is because Ken's the man. Hit me up, man. We're in Orlando, Florida. If you're ever in town, you know, we love to take you out for lunch or something and just chat with you and, you know, figure out what you like about our channel, what you think we could improve. And just thank you for, you know, supporting us. So hit me up if you're ever in Florida. And also make sure you guys go over to Poem Brotherhood, hit the like button on her channel as well. And you still got to set up the join page.
Yeah, I do. I have a laundry list of things that I am dedicated to getting done, such as my Poem Daddy videos. Like, poor Daddy's been waiting on United States and Canada. We filmed that almost like 3 weeks ago.
Well, just blame my gout flare up. I'm still limping on that.
Yeah. Let's put it on something else that's completely unrelated. But yeah, I definitely have to do that. Start a TikTok. There's so much to do, and I feel finally I got this cord management. You guys will totally laugh at me. I spent almost like 4 or 5 days doing cord management under this desk that you guys can't see right now, but it took me almost 4 or 5 days to figure out the configurations, not to get to like techie or anything. I didn't know anything about tech, but you know, with microphones and everything, can't be close to the Wi-Fi, you hear a buzzing, but everything to bring you guys literally the best quality possible. And we were talking about it, like, you know, in a sense, like that threshold of how many subs do I have versus like how much I've pumped into it. Even if I had an audience of 1, I still always deliver my best. And that's just an aspect of my personality from everything. So if I have 1 in the audience or if I have 1,000, I always just give my all, because that's just
well, you're very,
how I am.
As a former beauty pageant, you know, beauty queen winner, I think that you pay attention to detail. And you want to come in first place. That's what you're striving for.
I'm competitive against myself.
I always joke around that if you look at subscriber count to quality of production, Tower has put together the best produced show on the internet. Because you have a lot of channels that people have 100,000 subscribers and their equipment, their tech is nowhere near as good as this. And as a matter of fact, you ran into James Klug at an event once, right?
Yeah.
And he saw that you had a live view.
Yeah.
Which costs you $400 a month for the membership, and that's
$450,
that's what gives her the streaming capability when we're out on the ground. And James Klug was like, which company are you with? And she's like, oh, this is my personal live view. And he was just like, not even major organizations have a live view. You have one? How many subscribers do you have? And Tara at the time was like 6,000.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, it shows like I have a lot of faith in myself. I have a lot of faith in Adam, and I love what we're doing. So, you know, whatever comes about from this, it's, I want to say it's for the memories, but you know, that's what I actually love about the age that we're living in, and all the different hobbies I'm into. Like I like cakes, so I'm probably gonna do a little video about cakes and everything. But we're able to really like memorialize those type of memories as opposed to a photo album. Everything's like living in the process. So I think that's part of it. This is my my channel when I don't consider it a news source. I mean, in all honesty, it's more like my personal diary.
So I'm going to play this video in the background right now, guys. We're going to play the video. And as I was going to say, I like to pepper a lot of Trump quotes into my videos now. That's right. For those of you who already saw this, we just wanted to play a little bit of it for you. So just to inspire the people with my beautiful music. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, guys. Someone said the audio is jacked.
Yeah, it's kind of glitching.
All right, just don't worry about it. We won't play it. We can just cut it. Can we pull the other file though?
Yeah.
Let's pull the other file. So if you guys haven't seen this video yet, after this stream is over, give it a watch on my channel. And of course, credit as always to Tara, who was a creep filming this from the car. You can actually see it in this shot where you could see her, like, you know, behind the side view mirrors.
I was like sneaky, like with my camera, and then like back underneath.
Yeah, but I think she did a great job, especially with a loud dog in her lap. So.
Oh my gosh! Like anytime the camera shook, it's because like little Winston was jumping up from underneath. He's like so love struck for you. I'm like, I can give you attention. He's like, and Winston just like kind of looks at me like, no, you're not Adam. Yeah,
I mean, you know, what I've noticed about dogs in general is once a dog sleeps with you in bed one time, their entire relationship with you changes, because now all of a sudden it goes from uncertainty to complete and full trust. And that's why when a dog is sleeping and they lay down and show you the belly, that is showing them that they have complete faith in their owner. Because in the wild, in the wilderness, a dog's neck down to their belly is their most vulnerable body part. So when they lay down on their backs like this and they show you everything and expose their organs to you, it's basically them saying, I feel completely at ease around you. And I'm proud to say that Winston is at that point with me. And he loves me every time he's with me. We go to the park every day. We spend a lot of time together. And today he went to Denny's with me. No, IHOP. He had bacon, sausage. Time he's with me. We go to the park every day. So he's a good boy. And I think I try to be a good pet sitter when he's with me.
Let me see. I'm going to try and just pull up the video from my man desk.
I'll keep the people entertained while you work on pulling this up. So we're going to show you guys some exclusive footage today from the Disney rally that we have not yet posted on the internet yet. And basically, today was super hot. For those of you who stepped outside today, this might have been the hottest day of the year so far. I'm not even kidding. It felt like 100 degrees. So we get across the street. We spend about an hour and a half there at the event, interviewed a lot of great people. We saw Jeff from Paint the Trump, which is always a pleasure to see. And yeah, God bless you, Jeff. Really just proud of the stuff that you've done and the movement that you've created. And I know you're responsible for a big part of this crowd today, so you should be proud of yourself. And what was I going to say? Yeah. So as we're leaving, I was desperate to leave because it's hot. I needed water, but I saw police presence kind of like circling around an activist, counter protester, and then some Trump supporters. alleged Trump supporters. I want to put that out there because you guys are going to see this video. And while this person is representing the Trump movement, I don't know. I just have I could be completely wrong here, but this person to me visually did not look like a typical MAGA supporter. It looked more like a gothic type of person, which is very rare on the conservative side. You don't normally see this kind of style, but she had all of our talking points down. So she might have actually been, truly MAGA, or maybe she had a personal experience with people, and adults and children or something, and she's just trying to protect against that. I don't know.
Yeah. I actually got the other video queued up just from the desktop, so I'm going to go ahead and play that.
Let's do it
because we might have audio issues then also from from earlier's.
Yeah.
Video. I couldn't airdrop it to me, but let's test this out, guys. This is always a fun learning experience, and then one day I will be an Academy Award-winning producer.
Susan Knox, I'm just seeing some comments come through from Islander Brown Guy.
That's okay. You know what that's like? That's like a tax cut. That's bigger than a tax cut. If Biden got in, you'd be paying $7, $8, $9. Then they say, get rid of your car.
Welcome back to my channel, guys. We are here at a Wawa outside of University of Central
Magnificent
Florida.
was there as well.
As you guys know, Joe Biden's gas prices combined with his inflation.
Islander 67. Can you send me that on Instagram,
today,
whatever you're talking about?
We're going to be giving out gas money, and it's in the spirit of Donald Trump. That's
and the
right.
wrench means that they are an administrator.
Make America great again. So let's go bless some people today at the gas pump and hopefully brighten someone's day. And again, guys, we got to get Trump back in 2024, if only just to get cheap gas back and those mean tweets. All right, let's go. How you doing? I got a question for you. What are your thoughts on these gas prices? How much does it cost for you to fill up a tank?
Like $40.
What was it like when we had Trump, though?
Oh, I need to use that gimbal. It's shaking a lot.
How much it cost though back when you had Trump? Damn, that's crazy. How is it affecting you, the gas prices, the inflation, you personally? Have you noticed the difference? Have you felt it? Yeah, it sucks, right? Well, we're paying people's gas today, so we're just going around and trying to help out people, ease the Biden inflation problem, and also help out with some of the gas prices.
Biden's burden.
Biden burden. The Biden burden.
100% swear to God. This is how we're going to make America great again. So this is part of the MAGA movement, and this is also in the spirit of Trump's generosity. And Donald Trump is known for giving back in his philanthropic efforts. So we just wanted to promote that and hope that it helps you out and ease the Biden burden.
The Biden burden. Joe Biden's burden.
I hope the audio picked up. I think these people she was like looking around for a camera or something.
But we
don't have to play the whole thing.
Power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
Let's, I want to pull this video in from Twitter. This is some breaking news.
Hey, man. Are you a veteran?
It's a great video, guys. I mean, I enjoyed filming it. I enjoyed giving back and sharing some of my crypto gains with the community. And, whether or not people needed the money, that's not the point. The point is we want to, shift perceptions of who the Trump supporter is. And I think we did that today. I think we accomplished that goal.
Yeah, I was telling Adam earlier, like, I feel like you can actually change people's minds and votes this way. But then I'm like, bribery works. Just kidding. I'm talking about like the kindness.
Yes.
Because kindness goes a long way. Like, because especially, a lot of people, when they are having a rough day, just that little inch of kindness can turn so much around for them.
And I'll say this, the reason why I'm not worried about anything is because Trump's not even freaking running yet. So here I am going out saying...
I mean, there's nothing for you to worry about. You don't work for the campaign or
exactly.
anything. So.
And Trump has never paid me a single dime. You know who's actually paid me money? Joe Biden. You know how? His campaign runs ads before my videos during election season. So during the 2020 election season...
I remember that.
Yeah, Joe Biden was putting ads. It's called, in advertising world, because that's the world I come from, it's called competitive conquesting. So, for example, if you have two different types of competing brands, like let's think of a product like I don't know, Honda versus Hyundai. So let's say somebody's looking up Honda Civic on YouTube and wants to look up some videos about that. Hyundai can then serve an ad before that to competitively conquest Honda and say, instead of buying the Civic, look at the Hyundai Elantra. It is a comparable ride, and they could do all this type of targeting. So,
a quick tangent, because you're talking about cars, like there's something weird going on about used cars right now. Like, I'll let Adam take it from there, but that's very interesting.
You know what? Let's do that, guys. Let's pull in my freaking TikTok. There, it's so funny. Every time I'm like, we're getting on a live stream, I'm like, I don't know if we have enough to talk about today. Oh shit, I got to.
I mean, we're both like chatterboxes, so we always find something to talk about. Like, I'm Filipino; it comes natural. Actually, so I'll let you guys know I do have a Filipino nickname. All Filipinos have an alternate name, which, ironically, growing up, some of my cousins, I only knew them by their nicknames. I didn't even know their real names until I was like an adult. And so mine is actually Tita. They call me Tara Tita, which actually means Tara Talkative.
Really?
I was that child.
Are you Tara Talkative?
Yeah, like Tara Tita. That's like,
Tara Tita. All right, hold on, guys.
Tita.
I got
Tita
some,
means,
for some reason.
Tita means auntie, but like Tita means like, yeah, talkative.
For some reason, I got thrown out of the TikTok app on your iPad, so now I have to log back in.
You can, if you want to go from your phone, you can just pull the cord and attach it to your phone.
Right.
Just make sure you ain't showing, any slips. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I know, like the Alex Jones slip.
He was doing research.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was for research, right? It was for research.
He was doing research. All right, here's the video. I got it up, guys. Check this out. This is a minute video.
On your iPad?
Yeah. Okay, let's go back. You ready? You got the audio on?
All right, let's try this with audio and see how it comes through. No audio.
Oh, it's not coming through?
Yeah, it's saying that no audio.
All right, whatever. I'll just tell you guys what I'm talking about. So basically,
I mean, we'll figure that out. So thanks, guys. For anytime there's a tech issue, I'm the one who wants to know, because I want to be like the best producer in the world. So any notes when we're having tech issues, please let me know. Like, I feel so loved, actually, when you take the time to give me constructive criticism.
That's right.
All right, Adam, take it back.
Damn, did Ken Johnson send a second $50 super chat? I see two coming. Looks like there's two through. Love your show. And wow, if that's true, that is absolutely freaking amazing. Because I see two in the top. Wow, just really, that's so generous of you, Ken. I don't know what to say. I'm just speechless. But basically, my Honda Civic, I bought it brand new off the lot in 2019. It's a 2019 Civic Coupe EX model. I did invest $2,000 in custom leather seats from Catskin Leather. That's a shout out to them. Those guys are great. And so overall, I put about 24 grand into my car, 22 off the lot, 2 additional in modifications. And since I've got my car, I've put 50,000 miles on it. So I've driven a lot in the past 2 years, 2.5 years. And remember, I'm not even in the country half the year. I travel a lot. So in about a year and a half, I've done 50,000 miles of driving, which is, don't tell my insurance company. They'll probably try to increase my rates. So normally you buy a car, as soon as it leaves the lot, it goes down in value, right? Normally. Mm-hmm. Right now, my car...
that's supposed to depreciate immediately.
Yes. My car, remember, 22 grand, brand new. I put 50,000 miles on it, and now it's selling for $26,000.
That's crazy.
So the value of my car has gone up $4 grand after putting 50,000 miles on it. So not only did it cover the depreciation and the inflation gains, and I did some research to this. Apparently there's a chip shortage coming out of Taiwan due to the pandemic. There's a supply chain shortage, and there's also a car shortage. So right now it just comes down to supply and demand. And apparently it's cheaper to buy a new car than it is to buy a used car. But the problem is it's very difficult to find brand new cars. So that's why the used car market has just shot up. So I should flip my Honda Civic and get a good old American Jeep.
This is so like such a weird indicator.
Very fucking weird.
There's when I was like listening to Tim Cassie at one point, he was talking about like the lipstick indicator when women tend to spend more money on small luxury items like lipstick right before when a recession is going on, or right before a recession. Men spend less money on like briefs and underwear. So these are like indicators of people's like spending habits that indicate what, if a recession is going on. So I thought that was really funny to have like, something called the lipstick indicator, which was, I believe, and I might be wrong, but a study done by like Estee Lauder. So I wonder what is this car indicator, because it's so counter to what you expect and what has always been.
Yeah, they say the market's cooling off now. The used car market, it has pulled back slightly, but I'm sorry, I can't see from a distance. As third band JP Bay Senior said, used cars increased about 40% in price, which is unbelievable. Which makes sense because my car should be valued at around $16K in a normal market, 15, 16, and it's up about 40% from what it should be. So that actually is really freaking accurate number. Good job with that.
It's so weird.
It's just bizarre. And shout out to Mikkel. I don't know if I said that. I'm losing my mind here, guys. But Mikkel, thank you again for the Christmas tree sticker. We don't have those down here in Florida, thank God. We don't see snow down here. We only see sand.
Christmas tree sticker? What are you talking about?
White sand. He sent me, look, a little like Christmas tree sticker. Look, do you see that? Hold on. He sent me a super sticker.
On the... Okay, I can see it.
Yeah, Mr. Mikkel Crump. I think Kim and Danielle are watching right now.
Yeah, they are. She just text messaged me.
She text messaged me too.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Danielle? I will totally respond and answer your question later.
I gave it a short update about the doghouse, the doghouse story, which we can't get into now.
We got 3 dogs in the room who have like beds. But
there's a doghouse. There's an innuendo here.
There's a doghouse. So
maybe
that's a special. This is an insider joke for, not even a joke. This is not funny actually, but an insider conversation for me, you, and Mikkel and Danielle.
Yeah, it's for another day, guys. for another day. And if you want to know more about that story, you could just DM Tara. And
or don't,
but she'll tell you what it's about, or maybe she won't. It's up to her.
And then when we're referring to Danielle, you guys can check out, like, she has been our guest twice. We had her in studio last week when she was down here in Orlando. So be sure to check out that podcast episode for Danielle Ray.
Danielle Ray on YouTube is an awesome content creator. She is a Christian conservative, as well as Mikkel Crump. He is Twitter god. He's got a lot of great tweets. He brings the fire. So Mikkel Crump, Danielle Ray. They are great Americans, great patriots, and hopefully one day they're going to have beautiful Black, Asian, Puerto Rican babies.
I was just about to say, and a beautiful couple.
And we love them. And you could just, we had some time we saw them and we witnessed them, and I'm almost 40, so I can look at people's body language and get an idea of where they're coming from, and I got a good vibe about them as a couple. I feel like it's a genuine connection. They truly care about each other. So start making babies, guys. Get married young. Put some babies in that womb. Let's go. What a weird thing to say. What the hell's wrong with me sometimes? That's some weird ass shit. All right. So someone asked in the comments, do I plan on buying an electric vehicle? I don't. And the reason why I personally don't want one right now is just because my lifestyle. I don't really live anywhere. I kind of float around. I like to travel a lot. And from my understanding, the way the electric vehicle market works, it works better if you live somewhere. Like you have a garage, you can install a charger in your own home. And let's pull this up. This is just a random factoid for you guys. This is a company, by the way, that I invested in, Series A funding. Did I ever tell you about this, Tara?
No, what is it?
So this company is called Hevo Power. And essentially what it is it's wireless charging for your car. So what you do is you install a transmitting device into the bottom of your vehicle, which you're seeing here. And in the ground is installed a charging. It's kind of like the wireless charger for an iPhone.
Yeah.
It turns your car into an iPhone, basically. And all you got to do is park above it, and it uses wireless signals to transmit the energy to your car.
I have heard about this. I have heard about it. You didn't tell me about it. Maybe it was in a dream or some commercial or something. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, technology these days are awesome. Wait till we have, from Back to the Future, the flying cars, which will totally not be gas or energy or any kind of
Maybe
efficient.
nuclear.
But, that's the expectation I have as a child who grew up in the 90s who loved Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah. So I invested in this company, Series A funding, about 5 years ago. I put in a nice amount. And, I'm hoping.
Is it paying off?
Not yet, because they're not public yet. And they're not, they've sold, I think, like a couple hundred or so test units so far. But I'm hoping that if everything goes according to the way it should for this type of technology, Tesla or Nissan, Leaf, or someone comes in and buys this technology, installs it on all their vehicles, takes it public, that is going to be a filthy payday for me. And I can go back out, do another pay for people's gas money, but I'll be doing a lot more if it actually converts. I put a nice chunk of change in this company. Again, a lot for me, not a lot for a millionaire investor.
But that's how you end up
That's how you
becoming a
become
millionaire.
And that's exactly it, though. So I'm not filthy rich. I want to make that clear. I'm not like some multimillionaire like that's out there that's just got all this freaking money to spend. As a matter of fact, my income has been very severely low for the past 5 years because I have not had a full-time job at all. Just picked up some, gigs here and there. But I'm still fortunate enough where if I see an opportunity, I'm able to go into my account, pull out money, and make an investment. So I know that I'm well off compared to a lot of people, but I'm also still waiting for that super epic big break where if I can put 10 or 20 grand into something and it becomes $1 million, I haven't experienced that type of victory yet in my career, in my young, investing career. So this could be it. Who knows? This could be nothing. It could fizzle out, but investing in this to me was investing in the future, and it was kind of a no-brainer.
It reminds of how you had froze the DNA or store the DNA for Flex. When even in a sense, like if you choose not to continue on to actually duplicate him, you felt you were investing into furthering this type of research. So there's other goals that was in mind when you were investing. And when you're investing into a company, you're going to further this type of technology. That's in a sense of even if this particular company doesn't end up taking off, like what comes in from research and design and all of that, like that could end up being some other form of technology that ends up being like crucial. Like, well, whoever thought of the internet back then?
That's right. And what Tara's talking about is I lost my other Shih Tzu 2 years ago in 2 months to almost to the day. His name was Flex. He was a really good boy. He died the day before his 7th birthday. So super young. He died from a tick bite that he got in Thailand. Basically the equivalent of Lyme disease. And I was so distraught that when I went online, I found out that I could actually clone him. And I basically paid for that procedure. So his tissue sample was sent to the cloning facility in Texas. Company's called Viagen, Viagen. Barbara Streisand used it to clone 2 of her dogs. So she has the same pair of the same dog that passed away. And my Flex's DNA is now sitting in vials. 4.4 million cells of his are sitting in cryo chambers. And as soon as I come across $50,000 and I'm more settled in my life, I can clone him whenever I want and bring a version of him back to this planet. And, as time goes on, I become less likely to do it, being honest, because, my bond with Cloud, my new Shih Tzu, has been absolutely incredible. And I know a lot of dogs are born that need love and need companionship. But also, I like to consider myself a pioneer. So there's that science experiment aspect where I'm like, maybe I should try it. Because not many people have done it, only a handful. Yeah.
I mean, for instance, not that it's controversial, but some people hold it controversial. I'm going on a hard pivot, but like for instance, space exploration. Not everybody thinks that's the best use of money to be exploring outer space when there's so many problems that are here on our own planet that money can be used for. But the type of in the development of that research, what kind of technology can come out of it? Plus, you're employing people. I mean, it's still a good endeavor to be doing. So even when you're investing into research, you don't know what that's going to lead to, because when they're studying the genetics of dogs, maybe it's going to lead to new medication or something that will be helping animals.
That's right. So we'll see what happens, guys, with that. And then, if I do it, you guys are going to be the first to know on my YouTube channel. And That'll be pretty damn cool. So we'll see what happens. All right, you know what? Let's play the video from the clip.
I haven't been able to drop it. So
should I try to pull it off my phone?
If it's not coming in through the Blackmagic ATEM, like there's an issue with the audio coming through this. I'm gonna have to troubleshoot. So
I click trust, right?
Yeah, click trust. So it's showing the visual, but right now it's giving some issues with playing the audio through it.
Here,
so
let's see.
If you can airdrop it to the desktop over here, then I can play it from there.
Airdrop.
But I don't know. So something weird's also going on that I can't airdrop from my iPhone to my iMac. So it likes to play games.
Yo, airdrop is one of the greatest inventions.
Yeah, it is.
When it works.
When it works.
When it works, because there's a lot of times where
it doesn't.
It just chooses not to. And
it's like the temperament of a woman.
Yeah,
it's the temperament of a woman. You have to be on its good side.
Yeah, you can never figure out why. It's like all the settings are on, it just doesn't want to connect.
And there's no reason sometimes. Like there's no explanation or reason. It is what it is.
It's true. It is like a woman where you're just like, I can't figure out why my wife isn't being turned on right now. I don't have a wife, but I've seen the stories online on YouTube.
Well, if a girl is not turned on, there's a handful of reasons it's going to be. So like you just put in more. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Like, make yourself more physically attractive. It's maybe it's not her. Maybe she's overworked. Honestly, women are working way too hard because they're playing into now the new like feminist notion that puts so much pressure on women to succeed in careers at the detriment to our home life. Like, women really are taking on way too much. Like, I had a friend of a friend that she wasn't able to get pregnant. And so the doctor had recommended she reduce her stress load. So she was, I believe, a lawyer. She dropped her workload to almost like 50%, and she was able to get pregnant after that. So stress, like, women are taking on too much. So if men up and act like men, then women maybe won't have to take on so much in this world.
Well, something's on the screen. It says accept.
Yeah, I dropped it to my iPad. That's what's going on right now.
Oh, can they see that?
No, they can't. So.
Oh, okay. As it say, it's interesting. It says converting.
Yeah, that's what it gave me earlier. So.
Maybe because the file's very long. It's getting declined.
Oh, I declined it because it some tech stuff, but no, it was being sent to my iPad, which is working as the teleprompter. So you want to send it to my iMac. So the teleprompter then sends out to the image that you're seeing, which Adam's seeing, not what you guys are seeing.
Your iMac isn't even showing up on my thing.
It for me, it was showing up. It's just not dropping to. Stop dropping it to my iPad.
Oh, that's to the iPad.
My iPad, okay.
That's all the option I got, guys. Well, you know what? Since this is not working, I guess we're not going to play the exclusive clip right now. You guys are just going to have to tune in for when we premiere the video. So I could just try to upload it to YouTube right now real quick. Let me do that real quick. Hold on. Upload video. Let's see if I can do this from the phone. I didn't have a chance to review this video, guys, so I really pray that I don't get nuked. I mean, it's not like we can talk about it. Like, honestly, it wasn't that. No, we need the visuals. It wasn't. It's not like it's a heated fight. What should I title this? What should I title this? I think you're making it sound a little bit bigger than it was in a sense, because she was totally normie. Disney protest. Like the woman was totally normie, but liberal normie. What I just didn't like, which she has the right to raise her child as she wants, but she dressed her child, who I would guess maybe 12. How old would you say she was? Like she dressed. I guess like 12. Yeah. I would. She was just so sexy, and I asked her the question about like. I understand you have the right to dress your child as you wish, but to some, like for myself, I think that is a very sexy outfit for a child. Like literally, it was like booty shorts, her boobs are hanging out, her preteen boobs are hanging out, and it was very sexually suggestive. And I asked her, I was like, what would you say to like somebody who thinks like what her outfit is it's inappropriate and too sexy for her? And so she countered with saying like, oh, well, is the problem like with what she's wearing or the way that people are thinking of her? And so I disagree with that, because I think that they're like, men are going to look regardless, honestly. And people need to take on personal responsibility to not be inviting certain like situations. And then also when it comes to women in that age, you have a chronological age, a biological age, and an emotional age. And when you're going through puberty, it's going to
misaligned. So you have a girl who's biologically she's 12 years old, or chronologically 12 years old. She's been on this planet for 12 years, and then but her emotional age, maybe she has emotional like capacity of a 9-year-old, or maybe she's more mature like a 15-year-old. But let's say, and maybe it's because the hormones they're pumping into our chickens or meat these days. But you got 9-year-olds who are having their period, who are looking like full-grown women, but they're not. But people are gonna assume that they are. Yep. So I think that like even the way that a person dresses, like you need to be age appropriate. And so that's what I was saying. So it's so when she was then kind of like turning around on me saying like, well, is the problem like with what she's wearing, or is it the problem with society? Here's the thing, like I'm not going to go and try and change society by putting myself in a sense like you're putting your daughter at risk by doing that. And to this type of exposure, and it's normalizing and making, you know, it starts addressing, you know, you give them an inch to take a mile. So, like sexual activity is going to start early when you're dressing that way at a young age.
And the other thing is,
I think it is.
For those of you who've been to pride parades, I know Tara's been, because again, we're former liberals here.
You know, I'd still go to a pride parade.
I still go.
Yeah, I just don't think now. I'm just vocal that children should not be there.
Yeah, I plan on going in Puerto Vallarta next month to the Pride Parade, May 23rd. I want to be there because I want to cover that for you guys and show
like
you
there's
what
dicks,
that's like.
There's everything like phallic symbols everywhere. They're playing around like
Men
showing
are
it in
puppies.
and
They're men dressed as
it's
puppies.
all this. It's like carnival, but it's debauchery. It's complete debauchery. But as an adult, you know, the difference between an adult and a child, you're able to comprehend consequences
and contextualize it.
Yeah, and contextualize it, and consequences for your actions, which a child, even if, you know, your prefrontal cortex doesn't even develop to 25 years old, so your decision making skills isn't even there. So a child does not have rights. A child cannot tell you what their identity is. They like children. You're saying how they believe in Santa Claus. Which I'm not saying that Santa Claus isn't real. Still bring me presents this year. I've been a very good girl. But no, children don't have rights.
That's right. The parents are the voice for them. I have an analogy, and this actually works because Tara, you are an expert traveler. How many countries?
58.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Super proud.
You've been to Vietnam?
Yeah, love Vietnam.
What's Vietnam known for? That comes to your mind. What's one of the warnings they tell you specifically about Vietnam?
Warnings? I mean, when I think of Vietnam, I think of custom-made clothing. I think of the Vietnam War. I think of Vietnam War prostitution.
That's more
children.
Thailand, but
Thailand. You know, you have ladyboys. Really, the ladyboy thing I saw was more Philippines and Thailand.
It's uncommon in Vietnam. Yeah. But what I was referring to is pickpockets.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Vietnam is 100%.
known.
Vietnam is known.
My friend got she got punched in the shoulder, and then from one side, the two motorbikes came up from both sides.
Yeah,
punched her in one shoulder, and they snatched the phone from the other.
They did that to me too. I was happy they didn't go for my dogs. I brought my dogs to Vietnam. That was pretty scary because every single person I met was like, "Better be careful with your dogs. They kidnap them here and eat them." And I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" So that was pretty terrifying to keep being reminded of that by locals.
I don't think they're going to eat them. They're probably going to sell them because like small dogs
usually for smaller dogs in Vietnam, they end up in
they're commodity. It's like a designer purse. I mean, the smaller the dog, the cuter the dog, is more demand it's going to be.
Yep. So I just took them everywhere. So they warn you, be aware of your surroundings. Don't walk down dark alleyways. What else do they tell you when you travel to these kind of countries like Brazil, Vietnam?
You should always dress you should dress conservative.
Correct.
You should always
dress. You
should always dress conservative, meaning you don't show skin, because if you're showing skin, you are calling attention to yourself.
It's not just that. They say don't wear jewelry. Don't hold out your iPhone. Yeah. Don't look flashy. Don't have
wear
cash.
Don't wear too much makeup. You don't want to call attention to yourself. These are all safety.
That's what applies to young women. If you are an underage person, it's the parent's responsibility to make sure that their children are dressed appropriately so that they don't capture the eye of these disgusting people. That's the bottom line.
Which these disgusting people need to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, make it even harsher. But, we see that they want to reduce actually the penalties or punishment to pedophiles, which is really ironic. But that's how you actually, how we're going to change society. We need to make the punishment more strict. I'm totally for chemical castration of these disgusting people.
You know, Ketanji Brown Jackson, they say that in defense of her, that all of her criminal cases, she followed by the guidelines. She did it within the guideline range. But it just seems like most of her cases, she went with the lowest end possible of that guideline. To me, that sets the wrong example.
I'm like, no mercy. For this type of crime?
Like, why not do the middle? Why not do the middle or the max?
I mean, even these guys that end up going to prison, not that I would know, but this is totally like what you hear. But they are also even the lowest, the low in like the prison scheme, because even criminals are like, you're disgusting for what you did. And like, if you're a child rapist, like, you deserve everything bad that's going to happen to you.
Exactly. And that's why it's important that we speak up against things like Disney when they come out and just say, we want to stand against an anti-grooming bill. We have to speak out now and try to stop it before, this continues
because it's sexualizing, it's normalizing sexual activity, which clothing is part of it. Clothing, the way you look, and not in terms of like skin color or anything, but the way that you carry yourself and your looks, that's all part of it. If you should not be and not victim blaming by saying this, but you're inviting certain things when you are. I'm sorry to say, and I'm not sorry to say it, but it's true. Take some personal responsibility. I'm not victim blaming, but there's crappy stuff that happens in this world. So you should be doing everything in your effort to prevent that from happening. And then on the other side, in terms of changing society, we make punishment harsher on these people.
I went on a date many, many, many years ago when I was living in New York City. And I was with this woman. She was a little bit older than me, a couple years older than me. And we were at the bar having a few cocktails, as you do in New York, as one does. And, this is before I was a Trump supporter. This is when I was in the process of being red-pilled, 2019, pre-pandemic. And so we're sitting at the bar, and we talk about women being assaulted on the streets of New York. Mm-hmm. And I say to her, I personally, if I was a woman, as soon as I leave the bar, I would take an Uber home. Or just jump in a taxi. I wouldn't take the subway home at 4 a.m. in the morning, which is when some of these assaults are happening. And she was just like, so are you victim blaming? And I was like, I'm not victim blaming, but I'm just saying
just
a woman has
as to what is being
herself.
Smart.
Because even if 99.9% of men are law-abiding citizens, you have criminals who don't give a shit about the law. You have mentally unstable people who can't comprehend the law. And you have sexual perverts who don't give a shit about the law and are just going to put the needs of their penis above anything else.
And all you need is that 1% to ruin your life.
Right. And so I said, so you're not protecting yourself against the law-abiding citizens because they're going to listen by the law, but you're protecting yourself against the 1% that are completely fucking nuts and have no regard for the law, no respect for it, and no respect for women or men or anybody. And she freaked out on me. And basically, it was just like, you're victim blaming. We need to teach men not to rape. We need to teach men not to assault. I'm like, but we already do that. And when a man does that and he's found guilty, he already has punishments and goes to jail and is demonized for the rest of his life. So even with all these things in place, there's still men that are still going to do it. And women have to protect themselves by just not walking down alleyways at home.
And it's 100% true.
And she was like, but women should be allowed to walk down alleyways whenever they want. And I was like, right, in an ideal world, but that's not the way this shit works.
Yeah, that's not reality.
That's not reality. I get it. You want it in your little utopia, but we're not going to have that. So women got to protect themselves. And it was a huge fight. And I was just like, that was one of the things that I was starting to lose the liberal view and the feminism view of just like women first.
Because it's not solution driven. Like you're not coming up with a solution when you're living in such a delusion about what's actually happening in reality. And you guys, I'll share, for most of you guys know maybe, but I was attacked when I was in Mexico. Like me and my friends were walking it was 4 a.m. We were walking back from a bar, and it was a short distance. It was like maybe a 10-minute walk from the bar to our hotel. We're staying in at a nice hotel, and Oaxaca is low crime rates. Like it's known to be safe. I mean, in terms of being as safe as Mexico can get.
It's one of the safest cities in Mexico.
Yeah. And I was attacked. I was held at knife point. And, afterwards I was just like, thank God I'm alive. I didn't get physically harmed. They didn't end on top of the cherry on top of that. They didn't end up like taking my bag. So but I can still like review what happened and say, all right, these are the things where I went wrong. Like we should have, it's 4 a.m. It's Mexico. We should have been taking cab to go back, even if it was 10 minutes. Like, and it's not like it's even expensive. It's Mexico. But those are things that were within my control, our control, that could have prevented that evening from happening. So, you know, I'm alive, so I live and learn. But I can tell you, like, you should have taken the cab. You should be taking you should take these precautions because life happens.
Yeah.
And you don't want that kind of life to happen.
And I'm relatively lucky in Mexico. You know, you guys know, I spent a long time in Mexico. I've been all over the damn country. So has Tara. But I look like a local. As long as I don't open my mouth, I look like a local bodybuilder in Mexico because the people there aren't as big as they are in America. So I look huge there, generally speaking. I did have one incident in Puerto Vallarta where I went to a casino and I was winning a lot of money. I was up $2,000 US at the blackjack table because they have 3 casinos there. $2,000 is not a lot of money for an American person. Some American people it is. I want to just be, you know, humble about it. It is a lot of money to some people. But to me, as a longtime blackjack player, $2,000, not a big deal. I've won more. I've lost far more. So whatever. But in pesos, that's about 45,000 pesos in Mexico. That's about 4 to 5 months salary for a local Mexican person there. And there was one night I was actually winning that much money at the casino, and I was up 45,000 pesos. And I think, from what I understand, all the facts that I've gathered, it looks like they might have put Everclear whiskey into my whiskey drink. And as soon as I had a few whiskey drinks that were spiked with Everclear, the blackout came on. And, you know, apparently they do that to people that are winning so they can get them out, or the person starts gambling stupidly. And I blacked out. Again, not my fault because I was drinking at a pace that I was comfortable drinking at. Did not know there was Everclear. And I stumbled home. Don't remember getting home, but I do remember sitting in a Mexican restaurant at 8 a.m. in the morning, begging the owner to just give me more water because I couldn't see straight. And he got me a taxi and I made it home in one piece and I was safe. Terrifying moment though. Mm-hmm. And the problem was, it wasn't even really my fault.
We're not, and that's the thing, when people like they so quickly go to like, you're blaming the victim. It's like, that's not what we're doing. We actually care about the victims. We want to give realistic advice to how you can be safe. Like you. Yep. And for instance, like, it's not Adam's fault that somebody drugged you and put something in. I know, like, I went to in Thailand. You got the full moon party over at Koh Phangan. Yep. One of the precautions, like, Koh Phangan. Koh Phangan.
I don't know how to say it.
Koh Phangan. But you know, I just had a kind of like a bad feeling when I was there because it's a rave. I was there for 7 days over not only the full moon party but also over New Year's, and I only stuck to bottled beer that I purchased at 7-Eleven because one of the things that they have is you buy buckets. You buy buckets of alcohol and they just put a hodgepodge, but it's so exposed and there's so many people there that I'm like, I don't like having my drink being exposed because there's risks. Like do I deserve? Nobody deserves to have something put into their drink. But is it a possibility? Yeah, and you know, I'm going to be smart to recognize it is a possibility and do things that are going to mitigate my risks. And I didn't drink anything that was not bottled that I bought. But I still think they put stuff in my food.
That's crazy.
It was real quick, you know, like it was really strange. My appetite was very different when I was on the island. I could not be full. I could not feel satisfied with food. So it was like constantly like, you know, you just wanted more and more food. So I almost feel like my food was spiked to make me want to eat more because it was a different spike in my appetite level that I hadn't experienced until I was on the island, and it stopped after I left. And you know, my ex I was traveling with at the time also experienced the same thing, and we could recognize it was a very noticeable change with our appetite. So I actually think that they spiked our food.
That's
somehow.
crazy.
Yeah.
So good news, guys. The video is now up right now.
Sweet.
On YouTube. So I sent you the link on text message.
Yeah.
I don't know if that actually works, but we're gonna play you guys. We're gonna wrap up the show with this clip. It's a 12-minute clip.
Adam, time flew by very quick. I was like,
that's right.
Because when he was like, "Oh, let's do it tomorrow," I'm like, "You're going to Tampa, and I'm leaving for London on Monday. So I'm like, we got to do this now if we're going to do it.
That's right. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats, guys. I wasn't paying attention to my chat. Sorry about that. Looks like nothing came through, so I don't feel guilty. Good. I didn't miss anything. All right, guys, we're going to pull this up in a moment for you guys. This is an exclusive video from today. And after this channel, this stream ends, you'll be able to watch it on, by itself if you guys want.
Okay. What do we got going on?
Yeah, see if this works.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you guys being on. It's very hard to find an hour of time that we're not competing with people. And I feel like the After Midnight show could be our slot.
Yeah, I think, between 3 and 5 a.m. is a perfect time when we're not competing against
anybody. Yeah. But guys, I think that like the 12 to 1 slot can actually make a lot of sense for our show, since it is the T&A show, and it's kind of appropriate to do it later at night.
I mean, I was telling Adam that like when it's just like us and we don't have guests, it's nice to be doing it at night because it's more casual. I'm more talkative versus when we have guests. I'm like obsessed that everything's going to run smooth with them. And also with guests, we're interviewing politicians. They're probably being productive people with their lives and not degenerates like us, staying up to like 3, 4 a.m. in the morning.
That's early. We were up till 9 a.m. yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like the sun's showing in the morning. I'm like, oh, it's time for me to go to sleep. But so we'll have a guest on earlier. But it's a nice division. You'll have the T&A show with guests, and then you'll have the late night T&A with Tara and Adam.
That's right. All right, let's see if we can.
All right. Whoop.
Let
me see. Gotcha. Share screen. All right.
Here we go, guys. Exclusive content. First look.
Should he be in a women's jail? Should that guy be in a women's jail?
I don't know that I would need
Kids
to
be
know
safe in
about
school, period. Doesn't matter what gender, what race,
why
what
not?
color, what gang, anything. Kids should be safe.
It's all these are full of shit. You don't care. You didn't get raped by these rapists.
We actually thought that this, I don't know if this woman would end up watching our stream, but we thought that she was undercover Antifa. I mean, you are going to be judged by how you dress. Like, that's how it is. And she was dressed kind of like undercover Antifa. But she was actually on the conservative side.
Oh, believe me, I ask that all the time.
Should he definitely be?
Look at you trying to find the right angle.
Yeah, I'm like, let me go around this way or that way.
No, it's all trans. It's been defined as a gay kid, and then you talk about the opposite sex. You're working up your whole body for the rest of your lives because you want to sell some delusional bullshit. Big pharma bullshit. That's what you're about. Reality doesn't matter to you. It's just feelings, and they go pay big pharma.
Bye! Goodbye!
All right, I'm gonna pause it quickly, maybe right there. But like in a sense, like I agree with what she's saying. It's just I was so turned off. Even though I share the same opinions,
Her delivery was
by her
very
delivery.
execution.
Yeah.
It's like we agree with the Afghanistan pullout,
Mm-hmm.
but it's how you did it, Joe, that you botched it up.
Yeah.
It's, same concept.
I mean, in a sense, like it's good that you're gonna have it. There was only a small group of it was this woman with her 2 kids. In terms of counter protesters, at the point that we arrived, we heard that there were some other counter protesters earlier in the day, but like when you can engage in effective discourse, I mean, what we walked into, because we were across the street and we saw the commotion and we're like, what's going on there? Let's go and, check it out. But like the screaming and yelling part, like it's not really necessary. It was coming from quote unquote our side. Just in terms of like, all right, this is the conservative side versus like the liberal side. And all right, let's continue.
Yep.
There's no talking to you, so because you're not listening. Oh no, I hear you. I disagree. You don't care. You disagree that men should be in women's prison. Do you feel that you come across a little crazy? I am not crazy. I am factual. Okay, but you act unhinged, so your delivery is not helping. Unhinged for talking to me. This is what you all do. Women, I was just talking. I'm a woman. I know exactly what I am, and I know exactly what you are. Approach personally. No, I was talking to the gentleman over here just fine. It's your approach is very woke bullshit. Okay. Woke bullshit. all my feelings, all my unicorns. I'm so oppressed because I fucking put on a dress. I'm a little boy. But then you fucking go cheat the little girls and go to the little bathroom.
I'm a little worried about you.
Nothing to be worried about.
Okay.
It's your children have something to worry about.
Okay.
You know why? Because you're going to put men in her bathrooms.
Okay. Are you all right?
I'm going to write before you do.
And you guys, you'll see like a difference when Adam starts engaging in conversation, how like he approached to share his opinions and understand hers is quite different. I mean, it's important to engage in conversation, and though content outweighs delivery, but does it? Like, what's the point of that?
At this point, you need both.
You're not going to actually make an effective point to communicate when your delivery is it's just it's gonna, not that it falls on deaf ears, but it's just not gonna, you're not gonna get your point across no matter how good, quote unquote, your point is.
That's right.
We can disagree on this. It's not a disagreement. It's delusion. And you want everybody else by law to fucking
She's a little funny though.
No, absolutely.
She's just pretty funny. We saw this from across the street. We're like, oh, what's going on over there?
It's cool. You want them
the right to express themselves without being told that a teacher is going to lose their job if they acknowledge somebody else's family situation that might have two parents in a public way. They shouldn't be afraid.
Which I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. You're going to be fired if you're acknowledging, like, so when she said that, I'm like, what is your understanding of this bill? Is like, maybe you're on the side that thinks that it's about don't say gay, which, it's just a misnomer. Not even a misnomer. It's just what they're slandering it as.
Yep.
It had nothing to do with being gay. You realize it had nothing to do with being gay. You're just using that as a shield so you can play your little delusions.
You don't even know me.
Because you're pro-trans, and look what you're doing to your kid. You're bringing them up to do some protest. It's sad.
You're literally at a protest yourself.
I'm going to bring a child into this.
Oh, I mean, you just screamed in child's face. I don't think you should really be around many children personally.
That was kind of a good point. You shouldn't be screaming at a child.
The world would be a better place if more children
or use a shield so that no one can actually.
My children will never.
I don't believe a man should play girls' sports.
Yeah, exactly. You could give away all the rights to fucking her future.
That's right. But you'll notice I stayed over here and let you guys do your thing. Because I stayed over here. I didn't come over there trying to be aggressive with you guys. You came over here.
You'll be safe.
I appreciate it. You're going to cancel people, and you're not aggressive. You just think you have the power.
I don't think I could cancel you if I wanted to. I'm not worried
the whole
about
trans culture does it.
What are your reasons for coming out here to protest? We've already heard. We know that side, but what is? What brings you out?
We're podcasters.
Yeah, we're podcasters.
Honestly, the reason that we're out here is simply because we heard that a bunch of people were coming here, a lot of people from out of state that don't represent Florida, to make people that are, members of the LGBTQ community feel unwelcome.
There's only gay, lesbian, and bi.
Thank you for
I just want to hear her out here.
The rest is made up.
Yeah, just go to that.
And I personally feel that everybody should be welcome in Florida. We all feel that way, so we wanted to come out and show that this is not a representation of the state, that we appreciate the tourists that come in, we appreciate everybody, and that they're welcome at Disney and they're welcome at the parks here, and that this hatred and bigotry that was coming out does not represent my home state.
So I just want to say this, me and her over here, me and my friend, we're both co-hosts of a podcast.
Okay.
We're both former liberals, and we actually do respect those pronouns. We expect people's right to express themselves. I've been to many pride parades. I've lived in Thailand. I have transgender friends. Okay. So to be honest, let people live their life. I don't really give a shit.
That's what I said. We stayed on this side.
I'm very libertarian when it comes to that.
Like,
my only issue is the bill has been slandered. It's not a don't say gay bill. The bill doesn't even say the word gay once.
No, it doesn't. I agree. It doesn't.
It just says don't discuss sexuality or gender, including straight relationships
But here's the thing.
with children.
But here's the thing. They're still going to read stories to kids that have a mom and a dad. They're still going to talk about straight figures in history. But those same teachers are now afraid to read a story that has two dads or two moms, or bring up any homosexual figure in history because if a child asks a question and they answer that question, they might lose their job. That's the problem.
Where in the bill does it say that, though?
There's going to be state approved.
I'm gonna pause it right there. So she's talking about, like, they're going to be afraid to be reading stories that have two dads. I didn't even hear that earlier. But so, what's your opinion on that? Like, even like, should they be discussing sharing stories like drag queen story hour about transgender issues or gay, lesbian, LGBT issues, like featuring stories that have something that's different other than a traditional mom and dad figure?
So there's a lot more to the bill, obviously, than just this. This is like the one sentence that they're all targeting on. Other parts of the bill basically say, like, if a child has mental health issues or expresses any type of health issues or is expressing the desire to transition or come out as transgender, the school has a responsibility to tell that to the parent. That's another part of the bill. That's super important. Mm-hmm. That's trying to, close the gap between the parent and child again. The parent should be number one protector of the child. Yeah. So that's a really important part of the bill that I love. It just keeps the parents informed. It also gives the parents a right to sue a school that's abusing the law. So a lot of these things in the bill are, like, I think, completely bulletproof. As far as not being able to talk about two gay parents or, gay mom and gay dad, the bill's not that restrictive at all. It doesn't say anywhere you cannot address two gay parent households or two dad households. It doesn't say anything about that. It just says from kindergarten to third grade, sexuality and gender cannot be taught in an inappropriate way. So there are ways that you can teach this appropriately through state-approved, messaging. And also, if you get the parents' consent, they sign the forms to say that my child is allowed to learn about this through your class. I get to see the syllabus in advance. I get to approve it.
I remember being in fourth grade when we had to sign or bring the permission slips to our parents to watch the video. And I remember, the video, you see the girl, like when you're a girl, you see it in fourth grade. You see what your gender sex is. You see that video. And then the next year in fifth grade, you see the opposite. You see the boys' video. But we brought home permission slips before we can even watch the video in the classroom.
That's right. And look, here's the thing. I understand representation 100%. I do. And this is coming from a guy that has traveled the world like you, Tara, and I've seen countries that have zero representation in the media. For example, in Thailand, unless you are like a light-skinned, half-white-looking person, or you're the bad guy, the villain, you're not going to be in an ad. If you're a brown Thai person, you're not going to have a lot of mainstream presence in ads. You're not going to see anyone that looks like you on TV, on billboards. Everyone's light-skinned. Same in Korea, same in the Philippines, same in Japan. Everyone's super light-skinned. They're obsessed with whiteness. It's very, very bizarre, very strange. So when I go to countries that have no representation, I love living in America. There's so many famous Mexican actors, Latina models. I see black people. I see disabled people. I see trans, gay. I think representation is totally fine.
But I'm going to pause you right there, though, because in the sense, like, it's very different to be discussing representation of skin color diversity when it comes to that than when it comes to sexuality. Because when we discuss like sexuality is going to be tied a lot to sexual behavior.
It's also invisible. If you look at someone, a lot of times you don't know if they're gay or straight.
But sexual behavior has a direct impact to hurting yourself or to others. And the behavior you engage into depression or into all of that. So there is a strong tie between sexuality and then ultimately the behaviors you're going to be exhibiting as a young adult, and it just feels like they want to, they're normalizing these behaviors as children.
Yeah, I just say that when a very, very high percentage of society, for example, when it comes to heteronormative relationships, whatever you call it, what is that, 90 something percent, super high? It's like, well, then that's what the percentage of stories that should be told under that lens, in my opinion.
See, I like that's your opinion, but I disagree. Like, I don't think that they should be presenting storylines in children's stories that feature LGBT. Like, in the spectrum of that, like, they shouldn't have gay couples in a story like represented. Like, when you're older and able to understand the role of sexuality, and then at that point you have a maturity level to understand those differences. It's like you can't dive into the depth of things. Like, you're not going to be explaining arithmetic, like
calculus.
Calculus. You're not going to be explaining calculus when you're studying arithmetic. So you introduce things at certain levels according to the comprehension of the child's like development, because these topics are very complex and it's tied to behavior and to morality, which is something that needs to be taught by by the parents. And so when it's being introduced too young, it's like it's before the parents are even able to have those kind of discussions. I mean, like, you know, when you ask your parents about like, where do babies come from? Like, it's when it's introduced too young, which kids are going to have those questions by all means, but there has to be a right way to be approaching it. And the things I feel like this bill is going to prevent, like, you know, I like to have to be presenting things too early, because the kids are going to be exposed to that outside of the classroom. By all means, I mean, kids are going to share amongst themselves, but it's not for the teacher to be teaching this kind of like morality to it.
That's my compromise. The bill is specifically kindergarten to 3rd grade. And if the kids are going to learn it, leave it up to the parents at that age. That's my compromise, which is why I support the bill. You know, I'm okay with kids learning about trans if the parents themselves want to teach that to their kids in kindergarten to 3rd grade. That's a much different situation than having a stranger teach them in school. You know, the parent's going to be involved in these kids' life for, if they're lucky, 40, 50, 60 years, right?
And then also, like, like, of course, you're
a couple months a year. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Because since these are very complicated, and you have to have a, you know, the trust that develops over time, complicated things to be explaining, you can't address them on a surface level, because you'll end up doing more harm.
Right.
When you don't fully address it.
And I don't want to make it sound like only LGBTs are groomers or pedophiles, because that is a completely false narrative. There are a lot of straight people that are also groomers and pedophiles. We have to be honest about that. Even if, you know, one group is more likely than the other, it's irrelevant. It does exist both ways, right? Always. So I just don't want parents. I just don't want stranger teachers to be teaching kids this kind of stuff. Leave it to the parents.
Yeah, like when I have kids, I don't want to be having to, in a sense, like, until they're older and able to understand what's going on. Like, I shouldn't be talking, like, me as a parent, I don't want to be talking to my kid as a 5-year-old about sex. Right. I mean, some parents can be like, oh, do you want them to know right off the bat? But like, you know, like me as parenting skills, which I don't know I would say birds and bees. I mean, just because they're not gonna comprehend it. You have to make it in a sense, like, bite size, something that's palatable for a child.
I can't even imagine if there was a nephew or niece of mine, let's say my nephew is almost turning 5. I can't even imagine where would I start and talk to, and I'm not a teacher, obviously, but why would I even talk to a 5-year-old about sex and transgenderism?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, my nephew is from, they live in Seattle, and apparently they're already being impacted deeply by the liberal education out there. You know, they asked I think my 3 or 4-year-old nephew when he was in school, or maybe he was 3, they said, what do you identify as? And he was like, I'm a boy. And they were like, right, but do you identify as that? And he was just like, what do you mean? I'm a boy. And they were like, but are you sure? Is that your identity?
That's confusing.
And now the kid's
That's
like,
so confusing.
the kid's just like, wait, am I not supposed to be a boy? And now the kid's favorite color is pink. I'm not making that up. And then, look, there's nothing wrong with the color pink. I love the color pink. But all I'm saying is your average, you know, 3-year-old doesn't choose that color when they're a boy. They choose blue, green.
So when I first, you know, even moved into this house, I was in 2nd grade, and my dad asked me what I wanted to paint the room, and I said blue. And my dad vetoed that, and he said blue is for boys, and he painted my room pink.
There you
so
go.
even though he asked me, like, what color do you want? I said blue. Blue's always been my favorite color. And he painted it pink and said that's a color for boys. Like, I mean, that's, you know, neither it's neither right or wrong. Like, if a little boy wants to play with dolls, that's fine. Let him play with dolls. It doesn't mean that he's gay, and you shouldn't be encouraging it.
Right. Like, and also, like, apparently in my brother's school, there's like kids, like men that have, like, I'm saying men, young boys that have nail polish, that are wearing nail polish. They may or may not be gay because they're not able to be gay yet. These are 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds.
You don't know your identity.
Who's putting the nail polish on these young boys? It's probably the parents.
I mean, at you know, when you're going through adolescence or childhood, you don't know what your identity is. Like, you're trying on new clothes, like you're trying on different styles. It's like one day I'm goth, next day I'm like punk rock, one day I'm like preppy, and you know, you go through all these identities because you are in a sense looking to find yourself and where you fit in all of that, or what style is suiting for you. But it doesn't mean you are, because like when it comes to allowing things like hormone blockers or kind of or surgeries or anything, these are permanently going to impact and change the person's body, which can prevent them from, having children in the future. You're causing permanent, everlasting damage and putting this decision to the child over the adult, not allowing the adult to even have a say in it. Otherwise, you're going over the rights of the child. Children have no rights.
That's right. The parents.
There's human rights innate to being human, which even like you have human rights, and then you have like civil rights. So civil rights are different from human rights. Children don't have rights, and until a person can make a decision with understanding the consequences that are going to happen, and be willing to accept that, like, you are not an adult. And I know plenty of grown people who are not adults.
That's right. All right, let's go back to finish this clip out.
Yeah.
I think we have a few minutes left, guys. And
They're still raised in all sorts of families.
But as long as the messaging is state approved, they will allow it.
We're talking about the reproduction.
But doesn't that kind of like
you're talking, absolutely not. Because if you're saying children are products of the union of men and women, you're not talking about literal the act of sex. And that is not something that third graders should be learning about. We just discussed it.
But that's a fact, though. That's a fact. I'm not being homophobic.
No, I agree. That is a fact. That it's a female and a male that generally it has to make a baby. But
generally, it's only.
Generally.
But the point is, when a female and male make a baby, that baby isn't necessarily going to be raised by a female and male. In our society, that baby might be raised by any sort of family situation. And now there are going to be a lot of teachers that are uncomfortable recognizing those family situations that might even be the situations of students themselves.
And what about parents? What role do they play in shaping their kids when it comes to teaching their kids about sex and gender?
My personal opinion, I think that the role of parents is simply to support your child. Children know who they are.
They believe in Santa Claus.
Children know who they are at that age.
So you put these thoughts in their head, they might believe you.
Here's the thing. Gender is sexism.
They're malleable.
Sexism. Here's the thing.
They're impressionable.
Absolutely. And if I turned around to my kid and said, hey,
I try to keep the kid off camera as much because, in a sense, like, you're acting like an adult, dressing like that, but she's a child. She was dressed very sexy.
Well, TikTok's a mass reach vehicle, and these videos are getting millions of views. So it is being.
See on the internet doesn't mean that that's like the norm.
Well, it's becoming. That's the problem. Is it's becoming.
Okay, but do you acknowledge that far more straight cisgendered, more conservative parents are telling their children that maybe actually are gay, that maybe actually are trans, and are telling them, no, you're not. You were born this way. That's who you are. No, you're not. You're straight because you believe in this religion.
That's a problem too.
Yes, absolutely. So you're straight.
I think both sides, the groomers on the left and the ultra-conservatives on the right, are both being on bad side.
It's silly when you use groomers on the left, but you won't say groomers on the right.
Groomers on the right too, but in this specific topic we're talking about.
Way more on the right. But the point
I would actually disagree with that.
I respectfully agree.
My concern would be, like, in a sense, like hypersexualization, normalization at a young age. And I have a question just in the sense, like, you have your right to raise your child as you please, but, like, in my opinion, I don't have children, but, like, her outfit's very sexy. How would you respond?
I would say if my child doesn't have any part of their body showing that shouldn't be seen, if you see it as sexy.
She was wearing this like low dip outfit, her booty shorts, exposed belly.
Put it on me.
If you were taught showing something like your arms
and your legs, she was like this.
Of women, and I'm
it was like this. It was like this.
If it's too much exposure,
it was like this. No nipple. Oops, sorry.
He's an adult.
Yeah, I'm like,
it was like this.
It's different. He's an adult. He's a boy. But literally, she was.
Like
yeah, that was her outfit. That was this teenage preteens outfit, and then from the back, her butt. It was not age appropriate, but at all.
Like little booty shorts, that kind of stuff.
But you cannot see anything. She's a child. You're choosing to.
It's suggestive.
It was a skin tight outfit. You could see every curve.
It's skin tight.
Because it was spandex. She was wearing a spandex rainbow outfit.
Her butt,
sticking out.
Her butt is hanging out. For a child, like her butt's hanging out. She's a preteen, like she's going through development, so she doesn't have.
I would never let my daughter.
I would never let my daughter dress like that. By all means, I'd be like, you are not stepping out of the house like that.
I think it's too sexy. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't. It's like, whoa.
I wouldn't have my kid in too much of exposing too much kid, but that's just how I would be.
But then is the problem, if it's society, according to you, then is the problem her and the clothes paying more? Or is the problem?
It sounds like this woman would be like, well, I want to prove that society's wrong, so I'm okay allowing my child to get raped or something. That's like when she made that argument, that was my thought. I was like, no, that's not how you change society.
In a work environment, there's a difference between an adult dressing sexy versus a child being sexy. And there's too many, and then we have
What I'm saying
yeah, there's more, like, it's not that it's right, but there's more risks also when it, yeah, I just feel that there's more risks also when it comes to a child becoming sexually active.
To let an unborn child wear certain things other than like a uterus because they're an unborn child.
I'm speaking rhetorically, but I would have let my child wear
That's not a rhetorical statement. That was just a weird statement.
my unborn
Like
child.
if, in a sense, like if you're dressing sexy, you might be engaging in
And you're
sexy
attracting the attention of
activity.
certain people. If you're, if your child dressed a certain way, you're going to attract the attention of bad people.
So you believe in like victim blaming?
I'm not a victim
No,
blaming.
that's
Bad
not
people
victim
exist.
blaming.
Just bad people
We
exist.
just don't want anything to happen.
I mean, look around. Bad people exist. I get that. We're surrounded by bad people right now. I'm
Who are
not
the
going to
bad-
raise
who are
my
the bad
children. I believe that people that were on megaphones shouting cuss words and telling my children to go to hell are bad people.
I wouldn't tell a child to go to hell.
Yeah.
I don't think they were telling, like, we know the people that are there. I actually doubt any of them on the megaphones were saying go to hell to the children.
Some of them do.
Yeah, we're not extreme.
Really?
The ones that have the F Biden signs, they do that.
Because we're former
I told you that they were cursing out kids. Some of them at a different rally.
Yeah.
Jeff doesn't paint the Trump.
Trans people and go to pride parades. That's pretty liberal.
That's
Conservatives
like
don't
the
do
I have
that.
a black friend argument.
No, it's not at all.
You can't.
I've been an ally for a long time in the gay
An
community.
ally would not vote for somebody that's going to harm.
Trump's the first president to go into his presidency against gay marriage. Biden spoke against it with the Marriage Equality Act. So did Obama. So Democrats have actually done more to prevent marriage equality.
I don't think
Trump allowed trans to compete in pageants.
Wearing anything saying, "Ooh, Democrats."
No, I'm just saying that. But that's
I know, but you're using it.
But don't use Trump as like an anti-trans. He's not. He's been very pro-trans.
Trump.
He's defended trans rights.
They just want to stick any of those isms and phobias onto him.
Miss Universe. See when he led Miss Universe.
If you choose to believe Trump is pro-trans, then
He's pro-trans.
you're
He's pro-trans.
Okay, you're
Look at his record when it comes to trans people.
What has he done that is like anti-trans?
He didn't want people using the military.
This is the
Other
military
than
ban,
the military ban, but
which Claire Wright tore apart that
There's
fake
obviously
story.
divided America,
Oh, yeah.
but we didn't raise our voices,
No, you're
we
very
didn't insult each
respectful. I
other,
appreciate that.
and I appreciate your insights. Thank you.
for taking the
God bless.
So that's the end, guys. We acknowledge that there's division, and she was thankful that we didn't raise our voices because a lot of times,
oh, sorry guys, let me
it's all right.
switch out of
Is
this
that
thing.
porn? Is that porn?
No.
Damn it.
We got something else that's coming through. ABC News clashes.
But my issue is I do think the average Biden voter is more emotional and triggered than the average Trump voter. Right? I think that they react emotionally and erratic and violently.
You know, I'm not exactly.
On average.
I'm not exactly sure about that, but of course, emotions are going to be high. Emotions are going to be high. I'll just say that.
All I'm going to say is, when we do that on the Trump side, it makes us look really bad guys. So, fortunately for me,
she had the higher ground just because she stayed cool.
Exactly.
Like even if I don't agree with her opinion, like you're going to judge based on like presentation and when you act like that, you're like your message it's not effective. You're not delivering your message, and B, it looks bad. Like it looks bad on our side.
So if you're going to get into debates with people, and I think one of the most important things is to stay cool and remember that, especially if you're wearing a MAGA hat or a Trump hat, you're reflecting the entire movement. So keep in mind that, like, if you want to shift perceptions and you want to break the narrative,
a picture is worth 1,000 words, and that's why, like, if you're wearing a MAGA hat and you do something bad, like if they snap a photo of that, they're gonna say everybody is like this in the MAGA movement.
Jussie Smollett, he made invisible characters and just blamed the whole MAGA movement, tried to demonize the entire movement.
By saying that like they were wearing hats. I mean, it's so funny that it all comes back to like kind of wearing this like logoed gear and stuff. So
yeah. In Chicago, and the coldest night of the year at 2 a.m. in the morning, and they knew who he was in urban city. They know a gay black actor from Empire. They would recognize him on the street. Not that famous, bro. Now you're famous. You weren't that famous before. I
am not suicidal.
I am not suicidal. I actually am not.
He's like he's like. Really? You think I want to be like, really? You think you're that important that somebody's going to Epstein you? Like, no, they want the fees. They want your money. Exactly. They want you to be able to pay society and the system back for what you took for, Chicago PD could have been looking at one of 1,000 or whatever crime cases that they actually have, but instead they're investigating this hate crime.
That's
but
right.
we actually want you to we want you to be alive so you can actually pay back. You're no good dead, so like no one's gonna Epstein you.
That's right. And, just want to go over some comments that I'm seeing. It looks like there's been little bit of drama in our comment section.
Oh, really? I haven't been monitoring
I
haven't been monitoring yours. Like, what's the scoop?
And Susan Knox Elkin, I see that. Obviously, I have not been paying attention to the comments as much because Tara and I were in the zone. But obviously, when it comes to politics, even within this side of the faction, there's still going to be different types of beliefs, especially when it comes to Russia and Ukraine. I know it's a hot topic. I've heard things about Russia that I don't believe. I've heard things about Ukraine I don't believe. And so I think people are very, heated and passionate about this topic. But again, we're trying to put together a show for you guys where, we engage, we interact, we especially will super chats come in. We always acknowledge those 100% of the time. We do the best we can there. But yeah, no, I'm seeing this comment from Susan, and she says, sad end for the show. Don't know if I'll return. And she said, your remark is not appreciated, Justin. Talk all you want. I don't know. I'm reading it backwards. But yeah, I mean, look, Justin's been a viewer of ours for a long time. And obviously he's passionate about this topic. But again, I think that's what this is all about is just exchanging thoughts, sharing thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, even in my own household and stuff, I was criticizing the Ukrainian government, which, hello, it is the most corrupt. Like, all governments are corrupt. Yes, America is not perfect by any means, but so America's when I was just corrupt. But I just and it's actually been like it's fact that Ukrainian government has a history of a lot of corruption that's been exposed, and even left-wing media has published about Ukrainians' corruption. So I mentioned that to even my parents, and all like my mom got so upset. I'm like, I'm not saying anything about the Ukrainian people or that I am for this war or I'm for Putin, pro-Russia or anything. I'm just talking about the corruption in Ukraine and how things seem kind of fishy with, you got a Zelensky who's doing Vogue-style photo shoots mid-war. I'm like, how can you not question that? Or if he's, like claiming he's in one city, but he's clearly doing things from a green screen when his shoulder's like disappearing.
And being invited to the Grammys.
Yeah, I'm like, to me this seems questionable, and I'm not saying anything against the people, but I'm just highlighting things I mean, it's sus. It's quite sus. But even that causes friction in my own household. So
yeah, that's why, guys, I don't want to talk about like the Ukraine-Russia thing, because no matter what side I think and this is one of those topics I don't know, and it's also, as of right now, it's not our war. Like, maybe it is, maybe there's some deep I don't freaking know. I really have no freaking idea. And honestly, I don't think any of you know out there. Like
there's so much propaganda
on
coming out, from both sides, Russian or Ukraine or any of it, that it's like, how can you, in a sense, like, it's too, I don't want to say it's too early to listen to opinion, but it is kind of early to listen to opinion. But your opinion is only going to be as good as the information you're getting, even for left side versus right wing. Like, when we go into our Google searches, like what's going to be prioritized or shown to us is going to be different according to like our search histories. Mm-hmm. And so when you have two people that are debating or engaging in conversation, but they don't even have the same facts, how can you actually have a true exchange on that information? Because you're operating on two different sets of information. Yeah,
it's like when I was in St. Augustine and I said to some guy, can you name one policy that Joe Biden's passed that you liked? And he says to me, can you name one that Trump passed? And I said, First Step Act. What's that? And I said, the criminalization of nonviolent drug offenses, and it benefited 91% of black men who were let out of jail early, reduced prison sentences, got them back on the street. And he's like, I never heard of that. It must not be real. And I was literally like, yeah, bro, you can freaking Google this. But we're just operating on two different planes right now. And that's why when you get into these debates with people, even if it's on your own side, people are not going to agree. And that's fine. But all you could do is just plant that seed and move on and have a nice day. So that's what I recommend you guys do. make your point, hear the other side, and move on.
It's the importance of, like, in a sense, like, if you gotta control your emotions. You gotta control your emotions so you don't leap to conclusions, and also, you know, think that people are coming. I feel too much now that people are thinking that the person has malintent, and as opposed to a place of, you know, like, honest innocence or lack of knowledge or anything like that. It's like we assume the person has the worst intention in mind, that they're operating with malice, and a lot of it is just like we have different information that is plaguing us. Like
That's right.
If we were given two different sets of information, we're never going to be on the same page. And that's the thing with society. We're not on the same page. So that's the importance about engaging in discourse with, like, even this woman here. I was telling Adam, I appreciate the fact that she showed up to the protest. I think she should be there.
Right. She should be there.
Not only is it a right, but I feel, you know, unfortunately, things escalate. People become violent, which is not what happened today. But it does happen. And when it's only through allowing a discourse to happen for the best idea and the truth to rise. And that's why, in a sense, even the scientific method is comes apart. You find the truth by breaking things apart, by discussing, by analyzing it, by putting all the pieces together. We all have different vantage points, but only in putting together the different pieces. Like, if you stand on that side of the room and I stand on the other, and something happens in the middle of the room, we have different vantage points. We have different views of what happened. Even though we're witnessing the exact same event, we're looking at things from a different perspective. So we need to piece that together in order to get the whole view of it. And so what's going on with even echo chambers by like, it's good that we have other platforms that are rising, but it's not good if one's going to be a conservative platform and the other one's going to be liberal, because we actually need to be all together. The issue is that we're being suppressed when it comes to these liberal platforms, that we're not actually engaging in conversation. And then another harm that comes about from that is people become radical that way. People become radical when you're not able to talk to each other, because then you're in your own head, and yeah, like, that's how bad things end up happening.
I bet these elites are, like, trying to push us to civil war, and they're like, what is it gonna take? We're doing everything we can to separate these people and make them not think the same shit, and they're still not going to civil war. What do we need to do?
Yeah, the elites and the leaders are going to be like, it's division that keeps them in power and keeps them strong. Because if people came together and pieced it all together and realized what is actually going on, then you know what? Then we actually would be united, because you gotta have a common enemy.
That's right.
You gotta have a common enemy.
The common enemy's coming, though, guys. It's gonna be aliens. Oh shit! You know it's gonna be aliens too. That's gonna end the war.
A common enemy is going to unite people, because, like, you know, we just, like, it's gonna have to be aliens, because then that'll make us all realize it doesn't matter the color of our skin, our sexual orientation, or our religion. To realize we're all human, and if we don't fight together, then the aliens are going to take us over, just the way the vax mandates and all that.
Or it could make us more tribal, actually. It can actually have the opposite effect and make us more tribal.
How is it going to end up making us more tribal if we won't survive if we remain clans and individuals? Like,
I don't know.
Supposed to unite together.
I could just see it backfiring. You know, in one way, you'd say the human race is going to unite under one common enemy. Or it just becomes more tribal, where they see it as a chance to have a new world order, as we're going through now. And you know, one ethnic group might say, we have a chance to come out on top and rearrange the world order. Who knows? Who knows how it could happen? But
I hear. I just think of, like, you know, the problems. Like Susan, I haven't looked up to see the entire chat. It's hard to monitor one for one everything that's happening in the chat, and then also, like, you know, run the show. But it's. I totally forgot where I was going with
this. I'm just going to say, Susan Knox Elkin, we really appreciate you being in here tonight and speaking up and using your voice. And again, the one thing that you're going to learn when it comes to social media platforms is, you know, people are trolls sometimes, and they say things behind the screen that they will never say in real life. And that's part of the love of YouTube. You got to really just learn how to embrace it. If you see the comments I deal with every day, Susan, people make fun of my skin color, my nose, my face. I get death threats, Susan. I get actual legit death threats. I haven't got one in a while, but I get them.
Don't worry, Adam. I'll send you one to remind you who you are.
You. So, Susan, don't feel devastated. You know, again, we're
we
here
don't want you to feel bad, but, you know, when we do ask that people engage in polite discourse, but people will express themselves, as long as, in a sense, like, do we have the right to ban you from the page? Absolutely. And that's not us infringing on your right of freedom of speech and stuff like that. These platforms, in this sense, we're not banning you from the platform. This chat, like these pages, they're our homes, in essence. You're invited into our home, so you don't be disrespectful, intentionally disrespectful. You can express yourself, but if you're intentionally trying to disrupt, then that's when we're gonna take issue and concern. Oh, the point I was thinking, Adam, like, how many times have you even got into, in a sense, like a fight with a friend over a text message or something that you read that they sent you, and then you assumed what was meant by the text and assumed what their intention was, and in a sense, like, all of that much ado about nothing could have been resolved with just calling the person up and being like, hey, what's going on here? What just happened?
It's the issue of tone, right? You can't get tone through text, so a lot of times it gets misconstrued.
Yeah,
and
the
phone call
person,
and voice just can solve everything.
The person's gonna also put on the tone if they're in a bad mood,
yeah,
and they see a message like there's a if the person says K, oh, it's like, oh, you're being short versus like
K,
being abbreviated. But yeah, like, we're losing that with as awesome as our communication is these days. But I used to have a pen pal. I used to physically write letters, and as soon as there's email, that killed my pen pal. Oh. That killed, and it's Sarah. You know her, but she was my pen pal since I was in 3rd grade, and literally that killed my pen pal relationship from writing physical letters and connecting. It's like, oh, we could just email each other, but then when how easy it was, it's like it just never happened. But yeah, you guys, like, my advice, and I'm guilty of it too, but if you can, don't text a person, give them a call instead.
That's right. Well, guys, we have some new updates. You come to the channel. I just bought a pair of Ray-Ban Stories, which right over here, they look like Ray-Bans, but inside is actually a video camera.
New tech. I am super excited to be testing this out.
I'll be able to do some new types of videos for you guys where the camera is in my glasses, which is going to be fucking so much fun. But guys, we're going to wrap it up. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. Daddy needs some food. I need some Denny's and IHOP. And tonight's dinner is sponsored by Ken Johnson for the super chats. Thank you for paying for my Denny's tonight.
Wow, 2 hours, and I promised Adam, like, just a half hour, 20 minutes, it'll be fine.
And also, this video, our channel is now officially sponsored by MyPillow. So if you guys want to support the T&A Show, okay, go to mypillow.com/T&A, Tanda. T-A-N-D-A, Tanda. And if you type in that discount code, you'll get I think it's a $19.99 MyPillow. And when you do that, we get a cut of the revenue. Mike Lindell gets to sell a pillow, and you get to speak up and fight for patriotism. So if you want to support our channel, be on Super Chats.
That pillow was amazing. He sent us, you can see the video from the unboxing yesterday. So I popped that thing into the dryer because one of the guys recommended that, and I didn't know that was a thing. It came out 3 times as big as it was when I put it in, and it was amazing when I slept in it. Like, it takes the curve out from what's under you, and then the curve of your neck, and it evens it out, as opposed to like regular pillows will take on the curve of what you're sleeping on.
Yep.
And I'm working and toiling always in the studio, so I'm passing out on the couch all the time over here, and that the pillow is seriously amazing.
It's a great pillow, and it reminds you of sleeping on a bed of freedom. So thank you, Mike Lindell, for the great pillows. And again,
fight for freedom in your sleep.
T&A is the name of our discount code. So go support us, guys.
Tanda.
We'll be back probably tomorrow. We're taking the day off. It's Easter Sunday. So it was our Sunday show.
We were going to say, the title of this show is Easter Passover, which we didn't mention about, but, happy Passover. Happy Easter. And we'll take a break tomorrow to celebrate the holiday. I am actually heading to London. They lifted the restrictions, and I am terrified. They are going to, as fast as they said this Friday, which was a couple weeks ago, we are removing all restrictions, even the masks from inside of the airport.
God bless Boris Johnson.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta jump to England right now, because as fast as they took them out, Fauci's like, we have to be prepared for a hard pivot for these mandates to be coming back, and for all these travel restrictions to be put back in place. We see these horror stuff that is coming out of China. And so if a country opens up, I'm going to take my opportunity and go. So I'm going to London for the next 2 weeks.
Hell to the yes. So guys, we might do a stream next week remotely. She might dial in from London, so we could kind of hear what it's like. I'm sure you might do some live streams as you walk around.
Yeah.
That would be pretty dope if you do that for the people. So you can get it. And you should do some interviews out there. Ask people what it's like.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for joining us for this very late Sunday morning edition of the T&A Show. I'm going to the casino tomorrow to lose some money. So it should be fun. I'll see you, Pete, tomorrow.
Absolutely. And quickly wrap this up, guys. Let's always shamelessly plug ourselves in and tell you guys, please like, share, subscribe, smash that like button so you can help us fight that algorithm that is suppressing my channel. Somebody commented in my chat saying this channel is more shadow banned than my own channel is. So yeah, we are shadow banned, so we rely on organic growth, which is going to be through sharing word of mouth. That's the only way we're going to get the message out there, and we're putting in the time and the work to be providing you guys with like good content and putting ourselves out there. So, you know, like, share, subscribe. It actually makes the world of difference to our channel and enabling us to proceed with what we're doing. So please, again, like, share, subscribe, and you guys can find me at Polish American Brotherhood, POM Brotherhood, on all the social medias. And of course, my co-host, Adam Francisco, with Adam Francisco. I mean, simple enough said. Adam Francisco.
Adam Francisco, that's right. TikTok, Rumble,
all right,
Truth,
guys.
YouTube.
Thank you again.
God bless Trump.